All right, folks, welcome and thanks for joining us. We are coming to you live from the Farmington Hotel in Lower Margibi County, where the President of the Republic of Liberia is expected to arrive any moment from now to officially launch the Liberian tourism brand and marketing strategy here at the Farmington Hotel. And so we are expected to see the arrival of the president any moment from now. But as it stands, the hall is already jam-packed and people have started taking their respective seats already. So as you are aware, Liberia is Liberia is a beautiful country that has a lot of amazing discoveries when it comes to the culture and tourism sector. So the public officials are already seated. So any moment from now, the formal launch of the Liberian tourism brand and marketing strategy will commence anytime soon. We have Deputy Minister for Press and Public Services at the Ministry of Press and Public Relations. Mr. Chalawa Tompo is also here. And of course, Minister Daniel Nux Thomas, also of the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, is also here. So this is just a build-up to the actual event. Any moment from now, the President of the Republic of Liberia will arrive here anytime soon. So stick and still with us.
Mic test 1 2. 1 2.
So this is officially a launch of a program of Liberia's new tourism and brand and official marketing strategy, and then a dedication ceremony of the Roberts International Airport tourism booth. There's a dedicated tourism booth established here at the Roberts International Airport. And of course, today it will also be officially dedicated by the President of the Republic of Liberia, and folks on the tourism sector all gathered here to witness this great occasion. So if you are following us, thanks for following. This is LNTV, Liberia Live. We are currently situated at the Farmington Hotel, where the President of the Republic of Liberia is expected to formally launch the Liberia tourism brand and official marketing strategy at the Farmington Hotel. So guests are already arriving. The platform is being prepared for His Excellency. And of course, the Commissioner General of the Liberia Maritime, Commissioner Lane Eugene Langwe, is also there. So as we move along, I would love to see if I can talk to a few people. Of course, Minister, do you care for a word before we start? So I'll join my Assistant Minister, Princess Tokolon. She's the Assistant Minister of Tourism at the Ministry of Information for Cultural Affairs and Tourism. So before we start, I would love to get a word from her. Madam Minister, thanks for joining LNTV. So this is the official launch of the Liberia tourism and brand and marketing strategy. And of course, this is a very impactful sector to the Liberia tourism industry. So before the president arrives, I would love to have a word from you.
Yeah, you said impactful sector, but it has been the most neglected sector. It has been limited
Sure.
attention to. It was through this administration that now people are hearing about tourism and the impact, the benefit, and the opportunity. So when we got empowered, I heard people say, "Oh, what is tourism doing?" But we got there, we met nothing. So it has to take time to come up with new ideas, concept notes, and other things. So finally, we have arrived at this. So today we're going to be launching the brand and marketing strategies of tourism, and then we're actually going to be launching the tourist booth. At the Rabat International Airport, we got tourists arriving, but we got no information there to even give them. We got no brochures, no postcards or magazine. So today, all of that will be erected at the Rabat International Airport.
So of course we have Liberia has some of Africa's best tourist attraction sites.
Exactly.
With the launch of this tourism brand and marketing strategy, what difference do you think it will bring to the tourism sector?
Well, basically, we have 204 tourist sites right now. 64 has been identified, and 4 has been the most visited spots. So with this, it's also marketing our tourism sector, letting the people, the tourists, even the local people know what do we have and how can we offer it to the world, how can we showcase this. This is the start of it.
This came right in the time when Liberia is celebrating 200 years of existence, the bicentennial celebration. International guests will be around and all of that.
Yeah. So the 200 year celebration is all about how can we promote tourism, how can we promote our country, Liberia, how can we sell the best image out there. At times I receive tourists and they all complain about the perception that we have about Liberia. Whenever we come here, we see nothing like that. We are afraid when we see news on the social media, but when we come, no one, a tiger, we are free, we are happy, and the people, they are so amazing, they are friendly, they are lovely. And I said, you will never know until you come and see for yourself. So that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Thanks for talking to us, Madam Minister.
You're welcome.
And so, as you heard it from her, she has placed key emphasis on the impact that the tourism sector has on the growth of the economy and the country as a whole. So while we're still talking to people, we would like to ask that you kindly drop your comments. The Liberia tourism and cultural industry has a huge potential to grow the Liberian economy. So we are joining and see if we are hearing from people.
A specific country with profile. We'll also be dedicating our tourism information booth that is now being erected at the Rabat International Airport. And we'll also be unveiling Liberian brand identity that says amazing discovery. That is just one component of the project. Another component is the infrastructural component that will jumpstart right after this event that have to do with the Chimpanzee Island or Lipiso, Safe House, and so forth. So
what's the role of the International Trade Center?
They are the international implementing partner. They are the direct grant recipients fund the enhancement with the framework. So what we're doing like is we have a national steering committee that comprises of the Ministry of Information, the Ministry of Commerce, and the Liberian Tourism Association, a private sector group. So they get the funding, they actually directly implement the project. What we do at the national is we monitor the implementation.
Our country was founded 200, let's say discovered or founded 200 years ago. Why is it taking almost a bicentennial time to discover this country and to go into tourism?
There is time for everything. We also speak to the priority of those that have been leading this country. It takes that President Weah have identified tourism as one of the low-hanging fruit to diversify our economic, to create jobs, and to empower our women and youth. So it's about those that have been leading this country, what they see as their priority. I think the President, Ambassador George Weah, and the government are identifying tourism as a priority. That's what you are seeing to do. We are making a lot of inroads, a lot of gains in the tourism sector.
Where are we when it comes to our surfing industry? I know the last time 300 surfing boat came from a British guy. There's a school set up in Cape Mount and all of these places. So where are we?
And like I said, the next component of this project is to build a surf house in Rabos to provide them training and also logistical support to also establish a control for the first time our surf work competition amongst those counties and regions that are involved into such activities.
Domestic tourism.
Domestic tourism.
Are we strong on that front, or everybody just stuck in their homes?
I think the issue is
you don't see Liberian over weekends say, "Oh man, Minister, let's go to Ganta," from a group, a tour bus going Ganta, coming back. Now it's dry
I think there is a paradigm shift in the entire tourism sector. We are experiencing we have immersion medical or immersion medical class that now you see most of them going on excursion on beaches, taking out of town trip on holidays on weekend. So I think there's a shift in paradigm. There is some level of attention that has been given to the sector, and Liberians are buying into it.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you.
So that's Lance Bagayon there. He is
So we're talking to Lance Bagayon, the Deputy Minister of Culture and Tourism at the Ministry of Information for Cultural Affairs and Tourism.
Honorable Land Eugene, who is now the Maritime. He's actually initiated this project in 2017 and 2018 before his departure. So he's spoken with the issue, and he can get right to Mr. Nando.
Okay,
to see if we can talk to the former Minister of Information, now the Commissioner of the Liberian Maritime Authority, Honorable Len Eugene Nambwe. And so if we establish contact with him, if he agrees, so we'll hear from him. He also played a role in the growth of Liberian tourism while serving as Minister of Information for Cultural Affairs and Tourism. But again, this is what we are where we are currently. We are at the Farmington Hotel, where the launch of the Liberian tourism brand and marketing strategy is going to be taking place shortly. As we are with the President of the Republic of Liberia, we will now join Minister Len Eugene Nambwe shortly to talk to us.
Let's talk to Minister
Commissioner
Nambwe before we move to the current minister. Sir, you were the former minister of Information, Culture Affairs and Tourism, and I know that I was there when this all was started by you. Here we are. I know we're going to speak to the current minister, but talk about our industry. Are you excited now that it has started?
Sure, I am, but actually all the credit goes to the current team because we were just at the initial stages of starting the national tourism strategy and the brand and the marketing. We had the opportunity to have visited Geneva and then the UN tourism organization, UNTO, along with the International Trade Center, decided that Liberia, having this vast potential for tourism, should take a step further to brand itself so that it can be a premier tourism destination in the world. So the process started, and Minister Rennie, when he took the reins of authority of the ministry, continued with the team in partnership with the Ministry of Commerce. So I'm very excited to be here to see this come to this next step. And the President himself is excited. This is why he's coming here very shortly to be the one to launch the great potential that Liberia has. So we are very happy. And to all of you, the team at BCAT, you did the visuals at the initial stages, and we continue. So it's thanks to you also and to the entire team headed by Minister Rennie. You guys have done a fantastic job, and I think this is a beginning that will take us further. And Liberia as a country will be second to none as a tourism destination.
So we know it is not a hidden thing. You are one of the speech writers of the President.
Don't listen to those people.
Okay, that's the word on the street. But what do you make of the speech recently?
It was a great speech. We said every entity contributes to the speech, and then the president reviews it and gives his direction of what he wants to say. So the speech covered. A lot of people say it was very long, but if the things that the president had to catalog,
What do you think? You think it was long?
I think it was adequate because there were so many other things that the president did not even list because he had an understanding of the time factor. But if you have to list your achievements and then the statutory requirements, the legislative agenda, to state the revenue and expenditure, you have to explain to the people. So the speech has to be comprehensive. So the president didn't even mention the tourism thing. He didn't mention the thing that he's going to dedicate at the telco after a year because he knows he's still going to speak about those. So had he given a scanty speech, then we should have complained to say you did nothing, but he was giving an account of an entire year of deliverables. This year, a whole lot of the projects were delivered.
Do these speeches have time limits? Like, okay, the Joint Chamber say you report to us, but report to us within 2 hours or 1 hour, or is this something that is left open?
There's no limit because the Constitution is the guiding principle. And the Constitution says the president should report.
That's all.
If his report is voluminous, it's because he has done a lot. So thanks for the opportunity, and I think we'll have a great day today.
Thank you so much.
That's the Commissioner General of the Liberian Maritime Authority. So, Commissioner Len Eugene Nangbe. So let's now join the Minister of Information for Cultural Affairs and Tourism, Minister Rennie himself.
First, I know you are the brain behind this particular, let's say you quarterback the success of this entire thing. Now you have the international community that is pumping funds behind our industry. Where do you think we should start?
Well, I think this is a monumental first start, so to speak, because if you're thinking about, looking towards increased domestic revenue front for tourism, then it means that you have to have a policy direction, policy framework that directs you and set out a roadmap that will lead to, various steps that will now engender the kinds of revenue you want to engender. And so this policy guideline now is the first of many steps that we have to take as a government and people to be able to gain from our rich tourism adventures and attractions that we have. And I think today sets the basis now for us to move forward.
Okay, we're hearing the president's coming.
Okay, so that was it. So we will now go grab our position now. It was nice talking to you. That was the president, as we have been told, has already arrived here. So we will now take our position. If you have been following us, we'd like to say thank you. This was just a little build up to the official launch of the Liberia tourism brand and marketing strategy. The president of the Republic of Liberia is expected to arrive here any moment for the official launching. So we have spoken to a few public officials. One was the former information minister, who is currently the Commissioner General of the Liberia Maritime Authority. We also spoke to the Assistant Minister for Tourism at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, and then briefly the Minister of Information himself. So if you have been following us, we'd like to say thanks, and then we will resume this broadcast as soon as the program starts. Thanks for following us.